Welcome to One Mind, One Body, One Journey. I'm your host, Rashad Delaney, better known as the Fit Optician. The reason why we started this series is because we want to hold a space for people that's learning how to live a successful lifestyle. And what I mean by a successful lifestyle is learning how to eat properly, work out properly, enjoy life while they're on their journey. We're going to have a bunch of different guests. We're going to talk to lifestyle coaches, dietitians. We're going to talk to entrepreneurs and people that are in the business arena and get some insight of how they feel about whatever they got going on. And I think these conversations are important is because people don't always think the same. I might feel a way of training is better and somebody else might feel a way of training is better. When you're doing business and when you're learning about fitness and things in that nature, you're going to learn that just because you like to do it a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for somebody else. And then also somebody else can help that person a little bit better than me because they understand a little bit more about that person's body, that person's makeup, or any of that, to help that person out. So I'm so excited about starting this series, and we're going to dive into some questions. Okay, so this first series is going to be about me. I'm going to talk a little bit about my background, where I came from, and who I am, and why did I start this business? Why did I start this I won't say a podcast. Why I started this series, and also what you can expect going forward from me, being a part of this community, and learning from us. The first question is, what inspired me to become an entrepreneur? So I think the first thing that started me to be an entrepreneur is my love for basketball. I played basketball, and I was a late bloomer when it came to basketball. I started playing in the streets. My dad kept me up all times of night playing basketball, but I really played basketball because it was a hobby. I really didn't think about playing college basketball or even going to the pros until I actually got pretty good. But even then, I wasn't really into organized basketball, so I played on the streets a lot. Didn't get a lot of play in high school. I actually played center in high school. I'm only 5'10", 5'9", and I can jump. So that's what I was known for in Arkansas is jumping. So play high school, got to college. Let's go back. So played AAU. When I played AAU, I ran into a really good coach. His name was Felix Eason. He was the coach of the Razorbacks. He saw interest in me. He seen that I had skills. I just needed to develop my skills. So he worked with me for numerous of summers. I played a men's league with him. They also had a junior NBA league here in Arkansas. I played with him throughout that. So he developed my skills. Through him, I ended up getting a scholarship. Would have been a scholarship to UCA in Conway, Arkansas. So me being hard-headed and loving basketball, I was strictly supposed to be working on my skills, honing my skills throughout that summer, and got caught playing basketball with some friends, and I ended up tearing my ACL. So went through a bit of a depression then. I wouldn't say too bad because I'm the type of person, I'm very resilient. And with me tearing my ACL, I had to sit out a year. So I sat out a year, kind of figure out what I wanted to do, what I was going to college for. Because at the time and throughout my whole in college experience, I really only went to college to chase basketball. Very important to me. Only thing I cared about at the time. So after I tore my ACL, ended up transferring to another school. Just thinking that I'm being one of those kids that's hard-headed, not listening to my advice from other people. I thought I was D1 material. So I ended up going to another school after I went to rehab. And when I went to that school, I went to the tryout. And this is one thing that shocked me. The coach at the tryout told me that if he did not recruit me, then he's not going to pick me up. So really devastated about that. Hurt my feelings because I wasted another year in college of not playing basketball. And keep in mind, that's the only reason why I went to college. So prior to all this, I was playing street ball one day, and I was killing whoever I was playing, just murdering them. And I ran into this coach at this school called Central Baptist College in Conway. This is a guy at the time, somebody that Felix Eason, which is my AAU basketball coach, he told me to reach out to this gentleman and go to school for him. I just so happened to run across him playing basketball and killed him. He right then and right there, he was like, and this is an NAIA school. So he was like, look, you have the talent. You are really good. I can guarantee you a spot here at Central Baptist College. All I need you to do is enroll. And me being so arrogant, I said no. I was like, I'm D1 material. I'm going D1. So I didn't go. So going back to the future, tear my ACL, have to sit out of school for a year, went to another school and pursue a basketball, and I was told no pretty much. And then, lo and behold, I ended up going to Central Baptist College anyway. If I would have went then I would have had the opportunity to actually start, actually play, instead of going behind everybody else that had already been in the program with the new coach, which I do appreciate my coach because he made my skills a whole lot better. I learned a lot while I was UCA, and I became a student of the game while I was at UCA, a lot more than I did when AAU. So entrepreneurship. So the reason why this was important for me as far as being an entrepreneur, because with a person that does not have the backing behind a coach or the backing behind a big brand school to get you where you want to go. Because by this time, I knew I wasn't going to be able to go to NBA, just being honest with myself. I wanted to go overseas. And I knew that my chances were slim to none, if I didn't pursue this the right way. So what I did was all of the footage that I had collected from playing basketball in college, and then also while I was playing at college, I was playing these city leagues. So city leagues are like little leagues that you have around whatever city, wherever area that you're in. And what I would do, I would record my film. And this was back in, had to been like 2015, 2016, somewhere around that time. But I recorded all my film, I chopped it up, got all my highlights out, and I just started sending it to people. So marketing became a big part of who I am as a person and what I was doing at the time, because I had to use social media, find a list of coaches. I would just do research all night, trying to find coaches that would take me in or coaches that would give me a shot. I would even email them or DM them and telling them, and this is when people actually check their DMs. I would tell them, hey, I just need a shot. I don't care if I have to fly out to you. I will fund all that. I will figure it out, but I just need a shot. So through all this, I ended up, and if you want to check my YouTube, I do have some videos on YouTube about me playing basketball. But so I ended up meeting a coach in Mexico, gave me a shot, stayed down there for a while. Then from Mexico, I ended up going to Girona, Spain to play. And I stayed there for a while. Then I came back, had my son, and the rest is history. I kind of gave up basketball, and then I ended up going into the business arena. So during this time, I was in college. I just needed a job, college kid, broke as most college kids, and I needed a job. So I filled out a job application for this place called Lens Crafters. If anybody knows what Lens Crafters is, it's pretty much the home of glasses. They sell glasses, contacts, and they also manufacture eyewear. So started working there, got good at manufacturing glasses. During this time, I didn't like dealing with customers, didn't like talking to people. So working in a lab was perfect for me. So I got really good at what I did, and the group of people that were there training me and kind of developing me in optics were really cared about me as a person and seeing that I was a good kid. So they just kind of guided me, made me get my apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is, in Arkansas, you have to have an apprentice to sell glasses, dispense glasses, and adjust glasses. So without that, I was literally stuck in the lab. So worked for them for a while. They kept telling me, get your apprenticeship, get your apprenticeship. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So one of them ended up paying for my apprenticeship, and I ended up getting it. And then I also ended up getting my license. So I'm a licensed optician here in Arkansas, and I also have a national license called the ABO. So that's what I do by trade. I sell glasses. If you have any optical questions, or if you want to talk about glasses and contacts, let me know. I'm your guy, and I can help you out. Okay, question number 2. What led me into the optical field? So I kind of talked about that a little bit. It was about the group of guys that helped me when I was in college, got me a job, and I kind of stuck with it, got really good at manufacturing glasses. So I left Lens Crafters to open up a company called Crystal Vision. This was a good insight for me because it taught me a lot about business, a lot about starting from scratch. Crystal Vision, it was a full service lab. We did everything as far as an anti-glare, mirror coatings, digital progressives, you name it, I had my hands on it. And I loved it because I had to see everything from ground up. I got to see people build out. I helped with build out, construction, putting up frame boards, talking to frame reps, dealing with insurance, like all that I dealt with. And it's a really good learning experience for me because I was a young kid, didn't know which direction I was going to go in. And, you know, they pretty much guided me throughout the optical industry. So towards the end of my tenure at Crystal Vision, like everybody had left. I was one of the only people left. Even the people on the retail floor had left. And they needed somebody to run this office while they figure out everything else. The investors really didn't know anything about optics. So they hired a bunch of people that did know optics and, you know, entrusted them to run their business. With me being the last one left, I was the only person that knew the day-to-day operation. So that was my first real big insight of business management, being inside of a store, having to work with everything, having to train people, having to run a lab. So a really big eye opener for that far as in optics, management, and all the other stuff that comes behind the scene with that. From Crystal Vision, I ended up, oh, this is a really good story. It kind of ties back into how I ended up playing basketball overseas. So after I left Crystal Vision, I still wasn't licensed then, and I still was chasing basketball, still my number one passion. I chased basketball up until I was about 28. So yeah, I was a late bloomer as far as in going to college, playing basketball, and then also going overseas. After I left Crystal Vision, I ended up going to this company called, I won't name the company, but we ended up going over there. And then from there, I actually got a phone call or email from, I can't remember which one it was, maybe a phone call, maybe email, of somebody that was interested in me. So I literally left that company, took a vacation, and then went to Mexico to play basketball, and I didn't come back. So yeah, that's kind of how I transitioned from actually having a full-time job here in the US to actually getting a chance to play basketball overseas. So one of the things that people don't tell you about playing basketball overseas, like it's literally a grind, especially with somebody that just came off of an injury. I'd say just came off injury, but had an injury, didn't have an agent, and just was doing everything on your own. You literally have to start from square one, from ground zero. Usually when you go over there, they pay for all your amenities like room, board, meals, and then you get paid every month. However, they don't tell you that the pay starting at the bottom is nothing. So 28 at the time, so I'm already making more money here in America than I was playing basketball. And I was just like, you know, maybe this is gonna be my stopping point. And then also when I went to Spain, Spain basketball is a lot different from playing here in America. Very strict, very, I guess, educational focused on the way they play basketball. And it kind of like turned me off about basketball and made me want to pursue something different. Came back home, started back working. And by that time, I had enough hours. You have to have a certain amount of hours before you can sit before the board and take the test. The national, once you get your apprenticeship, you can take the national test anywhere, anytime you want. But I had just enough hours to take the state board test. So I took it and eventually getting my license. So I'm licensed here in Arkansas. All right, question number 3. What inspired me to start the Fit One app? So if you don't know, now you finna know. But I'm the owner, CEO of the Fit One app. And what got me into the Fit One app is after I finished playing basketball, I was working, managing a store, and one of my old teammates from when I was young, this gentleman named Antonio Jordan, shout out Antonio Jordan, like you've impacted my life so much. If you don't know, now you know. But he invited me to join a group of Herbalife people. Herbalife is a company that sells products, mostly known for their shakes and teas, which I'm still a distributor for Herbalife. And the reason why I'm still a distributor because I really believe in the product. It's a really good product. Despite of everybody saying that, oh, it's a pyramid scheme and X, Y, and Z, the product is really good and it's a really good, clean product. So he invited me to become a distributor. And once I got into that area of selling products, I really fell in love with coaching and talking to people and being a part of fitness because I've been in fitness all of my life through basketball. And I've learned so much about fitness just by playing basketball, learning how to take care of my body. And I wanted to share that information with other people. So with him inviting me to become a Herbalife rep, I really dove into the fitness, ended up getting my certificate to be a personal trainer. And then I went in and opened up a gym. So I opened up a gym with this gentleman. The gym was called Studio No Excuses. We had about 4 or 5 trainers there, and we kind of just rotated the hours that we worked. And this is going to get into how I ended up creating Fit One. But so opened up the gym. It was really good, really small gym. We all were busy. We had our different clients. And then what happened was I ended up getting a call one day from Antonio telling me that this nutrition bar was opening up. And I had to make a decision. So when they checked the nutrition bar out, it was twice the size of the gym. Had a really big area for weights in the back of the gym. And then I also had a nice size bar. It was a no-brainer for me. I was like, well, this is what I want. Let me get this building and we'll make it work. So I ended up moving all of my clients from the gym, which kind of was overcrowded a little bit, especially with the hours, to the nutrition bar. And that way I can train whoever I wanted to, anytime I want to. And then I also had the revenue coming in from the nutrition bar, which I sold shakes, teas, and whatever else Herbalife needed me to serve. I did that for about a year, 2 years, and then the pandemic happened. So, when the pandemic happened, everything, 2020, everything closed down, business dried up pretty much. And then also the owner of the business that I was renting the space out to, unfortunately, he had some issues and he didn't make it. So fast forward to maybe a year or two ago, I got to the point to where I really missed personal training. So I always, because people that I train really love me, really love the way I train, really love the way I encourage them, they just kept asking me to personal train them again. And I was like, I don't want to, because one, if you know that if you're a personal trainer, you know that you're on a time crunch. If you're doing really good, effective training, your session is going to last anywhere between 35 minutes, somewhere around there, to about an hour. And if you're doing one-on-one training, that's one person every hour. And then 2, if you're doing a group, let's just say you're doing a group class, if you have a gym of your own, you're going to be pretty much at some point at capacity. You can't service more people at that time. So didn't want to go back into a gym. I didn't want to get to the point to where I'm going to a big box gym and working for them, because they're going to take their cut of it. They're going to have certain rules and regulations behind what you can do and what you can't do, which I don't think I'm a corporate person. I just think that I want to help the people when I can and when they need me to help them. All right. So the last and final question, we're going to break this down in 3 sections. Building Fit One, what are the biggest challenges that you have faced throughout the entire process? First biggest, we're going to break this down in 3 different parts. Number one, one of the biggest issues that I had building this app was finding the right people. So when you start a business, and this is kind of how I ended up doing this by myself. When you start a business, you'll find out that a lot of people likes your idea, loves it, want to be a part of your idea, but don't follow through. So when I first started Fit One, it was supposed to be a group of people. It was my idea, but it was supposed to be a group of us. Personal trainers, lifestyle coaches, just people in general that I've connected with through Herbalife and throughout life, some investors, and they were like, well, it's a really good idea. I think this would be a powerful app if you can build it, or if we can build it, and just wouldn't follow through. Plan meetings, people wouldn't show up. I'll call individual people and talk to them about it, like, hey, when we're gonna get started, and they'll be like, oh, we can get back to you, or money's funny, money's tight, and just wouldn't follow through. So one day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna figure this out on my own. Didn't have a team, didn't have were really barely any money to start it off with, but I just had to make it happen. So started doing research, started reaching out to people, started praying about it, because everything I do, every decision that I make, I try to pray about it and make sure that I feel like I hear something about it. But did all the work and found a team. I had to hire people, had to fire people. Things weren't getting done when I needed to, but I had a vision and I wasn't giving up on it. And then also I feel like this is something that everybody needs, and as far as in personal training, if you're, especially beginners and people that really want to lose weight, you have a way of tracking all that stuff. I just really felt like Fit One was very important, and there's not anything else in the market like Fit One. So I just had to focus on my why I wanted to start this. It was for people, starting off in fitness, people that I've trained before, and also people needing a better way to track their progress through fitness. And then also, I want to be able to make time for my family. I have kids. My wife. I just want to make time for them and don't have to work like I have been working, because I've been working my butt off just to start this Fit One app. Challenge number two is a lot. It have to do with working in a digital space. All right, so first, when I started Fit One, I thought that, okay, well, maybe I'll use a platform like Instagram, Facebook to host my fitness. But with those platforms, you don't have any control of what you can post. Well, you have control, but you don't have total control of what you can post. You don't have total control of how you want everything to look. You're still behind somebody else's, I guess you'd say, paywall. So I was like, well, let me get an app. Let me figure out this app, and because I want to be the owner of whatever I decide I want to do. So with that being said, found the app, started developing, and then the first initial development was perfect with the first two parts of it. But once you get into diving into the SDK, an SDK is a group of framework or information that is on the back end of running whatever app or whatever you have that's in the tech world. It's the back end of it. So when you play with the SDK, you notice that everything is not going to happen the way you want to. So like, for instance, when I started the Vital Ring, Vital Ring was one of the first initial things that I added to the platform. The way it works is I found a manufacturer of the rings, and they already had an SDK for the ring, and I wanted to implement it inside of Fit One. Well, implemented inside of Fit One, they give you an SDK, but they don't give you everything as far as in their personal information within the SDK. It has to be decoded if you wanted it. And they wanted to charge me, I want to say about like $15,000 to $20,000 just to talk to the engineer, just to talk to them and get information from the SDK and code it the way I wanted to. Good thing I had a good team. The guy that I work with, really brilliant guy. Him and his team work amazing. And also we do apps and websites. So if you need an app or website, I'm your guy. And we try to be way more reasonable than most places. Anyway, but really good guy. And he was like, I'll crack this within maybe a month. I'll have everything done within a month. Cool, I'm good with that. So a month comes and it's done, but it causes other issues. So yes, the SDK was cracked. We got everything put it in the app, but there was a bunch of glitches and bugs inside the app just because we added something to it. A bug is like an error. So when you add in things to an app or anything that's dealing with tech, if you add something to it, just because you added it perfectly on your end doesn't mean that it's gonna gel with everything else that you got mixed into the mix. So we put it in, everything worked, then everything else started acting up. So you have to go through bugs. When you go through bugs, that can take more time. When you fix this, something else breaks. Like, it's just an ongoing process of fixing bugs. And then you also have to keep updating stuff because things change. So that in itself was a big headache. It taught me patience because by nature, I'm a very impatient person, something I'm working on through therapy. But building this app and talking to my team and understanding that people have lives and things happen, I had to learn how to be patient. And the third and final thing that I'm going to discuss today is financial pressure. All right, so with me being an entrepreneur, doing things on my own, you're gonna face a lot of financial pressure. Not only are you gonna face financial pressure, you're gonna have FOMO, fear of missing out. So when I started Fit One, there was one point in my life that I worked I worked 3 jobs. So I worked 3 jobs, didn't have days off. Of course, I took vacations and stuff, barely, with my family. Went to events when I could, but that's just the ugly side of being an entrepreneur. Like, you're gonna have to put the work in, you're gonna have to grind, whichever way it works, you're gonna have to get it done. So there'll be times where I just couldn't do anything because I'm paying for all my bills at home, making sure my family's taken care of, and then on top of that, I need to fund something for Fit One, and it's not fun and it's not cute. But if you have a vision, if you have a dream that you want to chase, this year or two or whatever it is that you're gonna have to sacrifice your finances, it's gonna be well worth it. Like, you have to go through this. I don't think any entrepreneur that created a big business did not go through this, unless you had a rich family or whatever. But for the average people like me and you, like, you're gonna go through that. You're gonna have to grind it out. You're gonna have to figure it out, and you're gonna have to figure out ways where you can make money. Also, it is very mentally taxing. Like, you thinking of ways you can better yourself, better your business, and then also with me, I enjoy fitness. So when I was mentally tired, mentally fatigued, ways that I got over that was, one, I do therapy. You know, I talk all my problems out, and I think every man should do therapy. Just get things off their chest that they normally wouldn't say, or it's dump. So, like, when I say dump is, like, when you go to a therapist, and people should know this is the only place that you can talk to somebody and you don't have to check in with them and don't have to ask them how they're doing. You can just mentally dump everything off, talk to them. They're gonna break down the reason why you feel this way, and give you some helpful tools to, get out of whatever rut you're in. But just dump everything off, talk to them, be open, be vulnerable with them, and you feel better afterwards. Then also the gym. So I always made time for my physical fitness. I prioritize my body, whether it's 30 minutes a day to an hour, and sometimes I do 2 a days, depending on if I'm working out with my wife or not. But I prioritize my fitness and my personal health and my physical health. So that's how I deal with fitness. I mean, not fitness, but that's how I deal with the mental pressures, and then with the financial pressures. You just have to gut it out. You just got to gut through it and get over it, get through it. And that's episode 1. Thank you guys for listening in. This is One Mind, One Body, One Journey. We're just getting started. And if you have any questions about Fit One, I'm going to end with this. Have you tried the app yet? And if you tried the app, what is your favorite feature? And leave a comment below with your favorite feature. And then also, this app is for you guys. So if there's anything in this app that you do not like or you think that should be changed, let me know. I won't be offended. Like I say, I want this app to be for you guys. It's not for me, it's for you guys. So, Rashad, Fit Optician, One Mind, One Journey. Y'all have a good one. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because your feedback, your subscriptions, your likes, it does help the algorithms. And we really need this channel to grow, because I want to be able to reach as many people as possible. It's about community. I want people to be encouraged when it comes to their physical and mental health, and have all the tools that they need, not just from personal training, from lifestyle coaches, from dietitians, from therapists, like anything that you need to be successful in your walk as far as in your lifestyle, and teaching you guys how to live this lifestyle. I want to be that resource for you guys. All right, y'all have a good one.